It's podcast week here at the No Guilt Mom podcast. Whoop, whoop.
Yep, and we are going big, my friends. We are talking epic giveaways.
Curated playlists to binge your fave parenting topics and, of course, laugh about all of them.
Of course. Plus, we're going to have games that you are not going to want to miss.
Whether you're folding laundry or you're hiding in the pantry for 5 minutes apiece,
this is your week to laugh, learn, and win with us.
Join us for No Guilt Mom Podcast Week because parenting's hard, but listening doesn't have to be.
Subscribe now and celebrate with us all week long. Visit noguiltmom.com/podcast week to get all the info and to sign up to win. You open the fridge, you look at it, and you're like, oh crap, I don't have it in me. And you shut it and you're like, I got to go get as far away as possible because I don't want to think about how I'm not doing it, even though it needs to be done. And you have to actively fight that.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here with the brilliant Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you?
Guys, if you haven't noticed already, Brie and I have ADHD.
Oh my gosh.
You can't be listening to this podcast and not know because I think we bring it up all the time.
Wait, I just had that conversation with my parents last week where I was telling them that I was working with my therapist and I had told her that I would like to get tested for ADHD. And she's like, well, you know, you would have had to have signs when you were a child. Did your parents not have any concerns? And I'm like, no, they didn't. And then when I was talking about the other day, my mom's like, what makes you think you had ADHD as a child? I'm like, oh, I don't know, Mom. Did you tell every teacher not to put me near a door or a window because I would become distracted? And she's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, and by the way, when I played softball, did I not get in trouble for dancing in the outfield when there weren't people hitting in my direction? And she's like, well, yeah, but you were just quirky.
That's how it's explained. We're just quirky. That's all. Not knowing that there is an inner struggle going on inside. All of that quirkiness is embraced, and we are so fun and amazing to be around. And I find the most ADHD people I click with very, very well.
Yeah, we get it.
I understand the interruptions. I understand the changing subjects. My dad used to tell me, Joanne, you change subjects so fast, you give people whiplash. I'm like, yeah,
and then you're like, you're one to talk, Dad.
He has different. It manifests for him because he is diagnosed as ADHD. He got diagnosed when my little sister got diagnosed because usually, the parent has it as well as the child. And
he didn't want your sister to feel left out.
Yeah, mine is all exactly. Mine's all internalized. So it was always hard. But today, a big struggle with ADHD is that organization and figuring out daily home life. Especially, we talk a lot on here about the mental load. We talk a lot on here about how much moms in general are juggling. Throw on there some neurodiversity, and it's just a powder keg waiting to explode. So today we have with us Robyn Buchanan. She is the CEO of Minimalist Home and Business. She is a former ER nurse and has a house full of ADHD, which, yes, includes her as well. Robyn started her own business from home, and now she helps other women simplify their businesses, homes, schedules, and systems so they can enjoy a Keanu movie and a cup of tea. Plus, she's the proud mom of 3. And with that, let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast.
Okay, so Robyn, in your bio, you mentioned share a Keanu movie, and I was looking through your site and looking at your celebrity crushes, and we share a celebrity crush, Matthew Good.
Oh, I love that.
He's in Department Q right now on Netflix. Have you seen this yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is.
Okay. He was first in Chasing Liberty with Mandy Moore.
Oh, I don't think
Did you watch that one, Robyn?
I did not.
When did you first see him?
Well, actually, in all honesty, the Matthew Good I'm referring to is a Canadian musician.
Oh, darn it all. That's
That
okay.
explains, because Joanne's like, wait a minute. I've like named a couple of things. So there you go.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
noticing the thing. Oh, okay. Canadian musician. Got it.
But I
we
do
do know who Keanu is.
who the other one is. Yes.
You
and
know
of
who
course
the other
Keanu.
one is?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I've always loved Keanu Reeves as well. He has always been my crush.
He was at the Tonys, by the way. I don't know if you watched the Tonys, Robyn.
Keanu
but,
Reeves was?
Yes, Keanu Reeves was at the Tonys. He was in the audience. Did you see this?
No.
Oh, no. I was wondering if do you know who Jonathan Groff is?
No.
Jonathan Groff played the king in Hamilton. He was part of the original cast. He was, gosh, I can't remember his name in Frozen. The voice of the good one, the good man in Frozen, not the evil guy. What's his name? What's the
Finn?
character's name?
Was it
Not
Sven?
No, Sven's the reindeer.
He's Finn's owner.
Yes, he's Sven's owner. Jonathan Groff voices him. Anyways, Jonathan Groff is just an amazing musical theater talent. He's in the show Bobby Darin, and so he was performing. He stood right on Keanu's chair. One foot was on each railing. Keanu was looking up at him like this and just laughing. Yes.
Wait, was he getting spit on? Because I know, and by the way, it was Christoph.
Yes, Christoph. Yeah.
There you go.
Because I know Jonathan tends to spit when he sings.
He does. That was actually a joke made during the Tonys. No, but I mean, if you look it up, go look it up after this. Jonathan Groff. I made a new name, Jonathan
That's
Groff.
a good one.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That's
And
going to be the
Keanu
next
Reeves,
trending
Tony.
like boy name.
Gianu. There we go. Gianu. Yes. So as you see, bam, squirrel right away, Robyn. Let's get in.
Strong with us.
Strong with us.
So back on the path.
Back on the path. You're a former ER nurse. What caused you to switch from that?
Well, it's actually funny because I was initially a 911 dispatcher. This is like the ADHD.
I was
You'll
going to
see
say,
it
you
on full display.
need change and you need like.
Yeah. So I started that. And then after 7 years, and there's something about 7 years, right? I went to nursing school. Like I did the whole 4 years, plus I upgraded beforehand, all while having little kids. Like I started school when my first was like 3 months old, started upgrading. And then when I started nursing school, I had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Oh, wow.
And was nursing. And then I switched. And actually, like, it's a huge part of my story because I started a YouTube channel in, I think, January of 2019. And I started it as a gardening channel. But then it took away the relaxation that gardening was because YouTube looks easy, but it is not. And
no, it is.
I know, right?
Yeah. So then a year after that, I switched it to decluttering and minimalism and sort of like keeping on top of the home, which was just, regardless whether or not I enjoyed it, which I did not, it had to be done. So making a job out of that was easy. And it actually was just the whole reason for everything, really, like balancing home, life, everything. And then after a certain number of years, you really only have so much time in the day and you can only juggle so many balls and are dropping many of them, especially with 3 boys. And finally was like, I can't focus on both nursing and my business and eventually just let my license go. I only worked like last year. This is the year where I didn't renew my license because you have to have, I think it's a certain number of hours, and I wouldn't have been able to next year because last year I only worked like 20 hours. So that's it. I'm done.
You're done. You're out.
You're going this route.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's so interesting because my sister is actually a paramedic right now and about to enter nursing school as well. And she has young kids at home. She has a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So I will have to like tell her your story and just to give her hope that it's possible because she's very stressed out about starting the actual nursing course load and classes. Obviously, it's a lot. It's a lot. With the home, I know just the struggles of trying to keep a home in order, not doing everything yourself. What are some specific struggles that women with ADHD have that maybe like people who don't have neurodiversity have?
Well, it's interesting because so many of us with ADHD are told by people to just get your act together. Just do it. And that is really hard to do. And in my house, my husband has ADHD. My oldest son has ADHD. My second son does. There's one kid who doesn't. And then
oh my God,
I
that
have
poor
it.
kid.
Yeah, right?
Joking.
And for me, I'm kind of lucky because I can be organized.
Yeah.
But I really struggle with focus. Like
Here.
with you. Yes. Like it was always Robyn talks a lot in class. And yes, the same. Like I had to be at the front of the room where the teacher could keep an eye on me. So I'm lucky in that way that I can kind of be disciplined, but I had to teach myself over the years. And when I was diagnosed, they gave me the option of medication, but I said I'd actually developed so many coping strategies. I didn't feel like I needed it. But a lot of struggles some people have is they just are like, oh, well, I need to do this. I need to do that. Like my fridge is an absolute nightmare. And, I can't keep the smell down, but then they forget about it as soon as they close it. Right?
That is so me.
And then it opens again. And you're like, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do this. And then you close it again. And then like,
Wait. Do either of you have like where there's a task, and we'll stick with the fridge because that's what we have going right now. Mm-hmm. You open the fridge, you look at it, you're like, oh crap, I don't have it in me. And you shut it and you're like, I got to go get as far away as possible because I don't want to think about how I'm not doing it, even though it needs to be done. And you have to actively like fight that.
You do. And it's really an out of sight, out of mind situation. And a lot of people with ADHD will leave a lot of things lying around because that is their visual cue. And for me, in my business of like decluttering and minimalism and supporting, women with their businesses, managing the home and balancing it all, I understand why we're leaving these visual cues out, but eventually we become kind of numb to it. And often we leave so many things out that it takes that cue away. But even me, for example, I use this like nasal spray. It's in my bathroom and I left the box out to remind myself to go on to Costco, right? To do the renewal.
The same thing.
Yeah. And it's like, so we end up just forgetting so much. And then we feel like we're dropping the ball everywhere. And there is just so much shame. Mm-hmm. And we just feel like we're failing at everything. And that's actually why I even like pivoted my business a little while ago to even niche down further to help business owners, because we're trying to run our business at home and, have our kids, taking care of our kids. Like that was one of the greatest things about me working from home. I was like, oh, good. Like I'll be around the kids more. And I mean, it has been helpful because my kids are all teenagers now. Like they're about to turn 16, 18, and 20. But I'm at the stage where I'm like, you come and see me when you get home. And I'm like, give me a hug and give me, let me smell you.
Too. We all are. Yes.
We're fighting with our teens just to remember to tell us they're leaving the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's okay. I still exist. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So being home, it was great for that because I was like, yeah, I'm actually able, and I'm able to support my husband more because his ADHD is like a nightmare. But at the same time, we're surrounded by our failures, our perceived failures constantly. When I was being a nurse, I was out. Everything there was organized. There were systems. And that's actually what I brought into my home and into my business was the ability to systematize things.
Yes. But we're going to talk about those systems because I want to get into like the nitty gritty of all of it. And we're going to do it right after this.
On average, you'll have to wait 31 days to see an OBGYN. And if you're dealing with an infection or outbreak, you know you need care fast. That's where Wisp comes in. Connect with a U.S. licensed provider online and pick up safe, effective treatment at your local pharmacy that same day. Plus, get birth control and more delivered in all 50 states. Take control with comprehensive sexual and reproductive care, all from your phone. Wisp. That's HelloWisp.com. The waiting room can wait.
Oh, I'm not switching my team to some fancy work platform that somehow knows exactly how we work. And its AI features are literally saving us hours every day. We're big fans. And just like that, teams all around the world are falling for Monday.com. With intuitive design, seamless AI capabilities, and custom workflows, it's the work platform your team will instantly click with. Head to Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
If you've ever looked at your kids' homework and thought, wait, when did math get so complicated? You're not alone.
Let's be real, not every kid fits into the one-size-fits-all classroom model. And that's where K-12 powered schools comes in.
K-12 offers tuition-free, online accredited public school for grades K through 12. Your kid learns at their pace, in their space, with teachers who are actually trained in online education.
And don't worry, this isn't homeschooling where you have to actually do all the teaching. K-12 provides certified teachers, an engaging curriculum, and even social activities and in-person events to help keep kids connected.
Join the more than 3 million families who have been served by K-12 and empower your student to reach their full potential now. Visit k12.com/ngm to find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you and enroll now. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/ngm. k12.com/ngm. So you talked before, Robyn, about having these systems in your home so that you're not always surrounded by your own perceived failures. Because when you were talking about all those visual reminders, I was looking at my desk and I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing here. It like was a big light bulb moment to me and why it's so messy. So let's get into like some systems that you have set up in your home and like you recommend other women with ADHD to set up in theirs. What is one that we can start with today?
Well, I will break it down for you first that I have developed a method.
Oh, yes.
As an ER nurse, so of course, if somebody came in with a heart attack, there was like a protocol we would go through, an algorithm. And that was sort of what I wanted to do to create for myself and then to help others. And I call it the Mighty Method. And there's 4 parts to it. Triage, simplify, organize, and thrive. So triage, the emergency nurse part in me is like, we need to see what is going on. What's the worst thing? What needs to happen first? But also like stepping back a little bit, like imagine there's a video camera in your room. What is it seeing? Where are things falling through the cracks? Where are things piling up? Where are people getting mad? Where are relationships breaking down? Things like that. So we can see sort of, and if you're looking at your whole house, you might be like, but like, let's take it to the kitchen in the morning, right? So we might notice that kids are slow to eat breakfast and we're getting frustrated with that. Things are piling up and maybe we get home after work and we're like, like the kitchen's messy. I wish like I had cleaned it, but I'm ADHD and like, why would I think of doing that?
Or I wish that someone else would have cleaned it for me and I didn't have to think about this.
Exactly.
True.
Right? Yes. So that's, triage. And then simplify. That's when we remove things. The more we can remove, the less we have to deal with. And for me, like decluttering and minimalism were always like a really big thing, but also like commitments. Kids' activities that nobody's really enjoying. Like, how about let's not feel like we have to be a part of all of that? And then organize. How can our schedule be organized? How can our kitchen be organized? What can we do the night before to keep things working well, which is a part of Thrive, which is the systems part. So what systems can work better? So for me, for example, I noticed that one of my kids was so slow at eating and I had been started making bagels. I'm on a bagel kick for the past few months and bagels take a while to eat. There's a lot of chewing involved. There's a lot of bread there. So I was like, this kid is taking forever to eat. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give him half a bagel because he already gets like an egg and some berries. And then I realized, all right, we're still running behind every day. We're going to have to get up 10 minutes early. So that's just one example. A lot of people are like, like it sounds like systems are so overwhelming, but it can be as simple as just making an adjustment like that where you don't even really have to do anything ever again. But another thing can be, well, how do you start your day in the kitchen? Do you have your meals organized? Do you have all of the ingredients? Making sure we have that ahead of time. And another thing is leaving the kitchen sort of clean, right? And who is going to do it? Yeah.
Bree slyly raises her hand. I'm the one that does the leaving the kitchen kind of clean.
Yeah.
Hoping
what I
my
do
husband
too.
will come through behind me.
That's what I do. So like 2 things you said, Robyn. First of all, the bagel kick. This is something that I know that people with ADHD do. We have like kicks on certain types of foods for a little bit of time. And then all of a sudden we don't even want them anymore. So I was like, oh my gosh, there that is. I love the simplify thing because I am a big fan of throwing things away as a part of simplification.
Yeah.
Also, the tendency for ADHD is like stuff really ignites memories. And if you're not careful, you have way too much stuff around you that you can't get rid of. And then we're not able to simplify. I grew up with this where my dad, I remember I was going to help my mom. My mom always complained about how cluttered our house is. She still complains about how cluttered the house is living with my dad. She complains about his office, on how she helped him clean it. And now it's a total mess again. And there's all this stuff around it because he has ADHD. I was cleaning a bathroom for her when I was a teenager, and I wanted to throw out all this stuff underneath the sink. And they were like 10-year-old stuff, and he would not let me because
Was it stuff that expires out of
bathroom
curiosity?
products. Yeah. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, we might need that. We might need
Mhm.
that. And I'm like, we haven't used it.
Dad,
We
it
need to,
expired 5 years ago.
we
Let
need
it
to
go.
throw it away. And he wouldn't. And I think like that is why I'm so gung-ho about throwing things away.
Joanne, do you see a lot of this in your partner here in the podcast? Do you see a lot of this?
Okay, little story, Robyn. Bree likes to go to all these conferences and collect all the tchotchkes from everywhere. And I'm like, I don't want them, Bree. She's like, look, I brought one for you. No, I don't want one.
But I might need a cozy with a bottle opener. You never know.
No. So the simplify. So you say triage first, simplify. What is the third step?
Organize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So having things, even just like a lot of people don't even think, hey, maybe I should have my, knives near the cutting boards or my stirring spoons near the stove. Right. And for me, it's funny because as a sort of like kind of organized ADHD person, but who struggles to focus, I'm like, oh, like other people don't even think about that. Right. And it sounds like second nature, but once you do something like that, you organize, life is easier. You don't have to walk around the island a million times or, everybody knows where things go when they put them away. Not that my kids are even still good at emptying the dishwasher.
When they put them away.
Yes.
How do we deal with that issue? This is what I want to know because this is a trouble that I have as well. Like maybe I organize it, but then I get unfocused and I put it somewhere that it doesn't belong. So we're going to talk about that right after this. So Bree, remember when we first started using Lumen and we were like, wait, what? My breath can tell me what fuel my body is burning?
I know. And now it's just like a regular part of my routine. Like in the morning, it's coffee, Lumen breath check, and boom, I know if I'm burning carbs or fat that day.
What I love is that Lumen doesn't just give you random data. It actually guides you, like whether it's what to eat, how to work out, or even how to manage your stress.
Lumen even adjusts to your cycle or, in like my case, perimenopause. So your recommendations stay personalized even if your body changes.
It has helped me understand my body on a whole new level. And no, it's not a quick fix. It's actually real insight that helps you make better choices over time. Like for me, ice cream at 9 p.m. will not help me wake up and fat burn, Brie. The warmer months are here. If you're ready to feel more energized, more in control, and more confident in your health, head to lumen.me/guilt for 10% off. That's lumen.me/guilt for 10% off.
Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Paradise is back
It's finally here.
in a new location, Costa Rica. There will be adventure, drama, and romance,
All gas, no brakes. That's my vibe.
Ready to find some love.
but it wouldn't be paradise without surprises along the way.
These kids need to learn.
That's right, your favorite Golden alums are crashing the beach,
We bring in a party, baby.
Bachelor in Paradise. New Mondays at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
So Robyn, let's get into this. When you said organizing, when you organize something and then you know where something is, and then when people put it away or when you put it away, it's always there. How do we handle that when they put it away thing? When it's organized, but the systems aren't being respected And I'm not just talking about family members. I'm talking about by ourselves. The systems aren't being respected by ourselves. We just get unfocused. We forget. What then?
Yeah. I'll just like make a quick aside is that when your family even like respects that you have like these systems there and they're like, wait, what? Do I even remember this? I'm like, yes, even today I said to my husband, because we're both like counting our macros, right? And so he's measuring out he's using this like spoon cup to measure things and just putting it back in the drawer and it's all dusty. And I'm like, just rinse it out. And I have a friend, she's a relationship coach and she's amazing. She always says like, paint the dream. And so I said, I would love to have these things put away clean so that when I go to clean the drawer, so I don't have to clean the drawer as often because I want the drawer clean. And then he is sort of able to understand why.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah.
And when it comes to creating systems with the family and even with ourselves in particular, we need to start really, really small. One thing at a time. And if you can anchor it to something else, that's even better. So, I often, because I work from home, I often will anchor things to lunchtime, right? But a lot of people, they work out of the home. So maybe it's to brushing your teeth in the morning or brushing your teeth at night. And how do you remember to even do that in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. I will tell you, phone reminders, one of the best things. And it's so hard for me when I pick up my phone to not like go to Instagram right away, but I'll be like, go to the place you're going first. So I like go to the timers and I will put clothes away, right? I'm so bad for leaving my clothes out. And even if I'm not going to wear them like the next day, I still will leave them out. And it's like, no, like put them away, put them in the hamper, whatever. And if I have that or a Post-it note where it needs to be, and that's where it can be really helpful for kids, like maybe on the front door, like, did you do this before, you left for school or whatever? One thing at a time. And it takes about 30 days for a habit to form, but about, I think it's 75 for it to become a part of your lifestyle.
There's like so many different days I've seen for that.
Right.
It's like 6 weeks. It's like whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just split the difference, people. Okay. It's going to be about a month. If not,
it takes a while.
A lot of people hear it and they like think, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff I have to do. And like when you were listing those things, I immediately went to this place of overwhelm where I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But something I really want to point out about what you said is one thing at a time. It is not all going to get better at once. It is one thing at a time. So the triage, the simplify, the organize, what's the fourth step?
That would be thrive. So that is starting the system, starting the habits. And yes, like one at a time. And don't add something else on until you've like pretty much got the other one as a part of your habit, right? Back to organize is I'm not a big organizing things sort of person.
Okay.
Like all of the cubbies and the totes and stuff. However, they can be helpful in small situations. Like I have an armoire behind me. That's where I keep all of my office stuff. And I got something just so that all the books aren't like clumped together and I don't have to like shove them aside and like cram paper, just throw paper on top because I don't want it to, deal with it. And then I'm dealing with all this paper. Like paper is one of the biggest things for people. And so using those sorts of things sparingly is good. But in my bathroom, for example, I got one for like my toiletry drawer and it is just life-changing because that actually becomes a part of my system because I don't even have to, like everything just sort of like, I just put it where it goes because it's already got a spot and I put it there. So that becomes, I don't need to really ever clean that again because it's already clean. It stays clean.
Isn't that crazy? I feel like if I could just have somebody come in and do the overhaul thing, how many of us way back in the day, and it feels, I can't believe I'm saying way back in the day, how many of us during the whole COVID lockdown was like, great, now I can organize my house. And you didn't do it. You might have gotten like a cabinet, maybe a room. But I mean, like, I feel like if I could just have somebody come in and set up the systems and give me a clear spot for everything, I'm fine. But I feel like when I'm left to create the systems on my own, I can't focus long enough to come up with the systems.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. 'Cause
Okay.
you mentioned, Robyn, that you have developed coping systems for your ADHD, and I'm guessing
Yeah.
they're very like specific coping systems. And Bree, I
Yeah.
bet you have coping systems as well for organization with
It's
your
called
ADHD.
breaking down.
Okay,
It's called
that's
breaking
not
down.
a coping system.
And
That's
I
not a
can't- well, it kind of is.
No.
Honestly, if I could pick up my camera and move it around and show you guys my desk. Today, my desk is bugging the crap out of me because people have started dumping stuff on it this summer.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm trying not to be too angry about that. So that it's called freaking out when things are too messy. That's Bree's
Freaking out.
motivational factor.
Well, I want you both to think about a coping system you have, really,
Okay.
really specific, and to share it. And I can go first because going along with your system, Robyn, this triage, simplify, organize, and thrive, one of the things like I have to do on a daily basis is I take a lot of medication. I have ulcerative colitis. I have to take my pills. And I'm also on like some supplements and stuff to help with my mood, everything. And it's hard to remember when to take that medication. And so something I did recently, which is total life changing, is I got one of those pill organizers from CVS. And oh, yes, right there, those. But I have one in my nightstand. And so I've prepped it all because now I'm doing like hormone replacement therapy, premenopause, perimenopause, great stuff. And I have to take specific things at night and specific times in the morning, specific things in the morning. So the things at night get prepped for the week. They get put in my nightstand because I was getting the thing where I would forget to take my meds and then I would have to get out of bed to go take my meds and to go find my meds. So now all I do is I pull open the door, I dump that little day in my hand, take it with water, done. That is a coping strategy for my ADHD. Who wants to go next?
Perfect. That is like, yes, that's exactly. And just where you're talking about like the problem, one of the things I do when we come up with the thrive is who, what, when, and how, right?
Mhm.
So who is doing it? I always make it sound like it's always me. It's not always me, but who is doing it? What has to happen when and
Mhm.
how? Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you did is you were like, I have a problem. I'm like having to get up at night and go get my progesterone. Right.
Yep, it's progesterone. You got
I'm
it.
taking it.
You
yeah.
know it. You know it, girl.
I know it.
Yeah.
And so you were like, oh, like, well, what would solve this problem? Right. So
Yeah.
very good. I love it.
What's the strategy you have, Robyn? One hack for people.
Oh, well, my one hack is more business related. And it was just that I was always feeling, I mean, you guys understand the long to-do list. And I had tried, all of the time blocking and this and that. And I would have like 15 things on there and I would have it down to the 15-minute mark. And finally I was like, no, this is like horrible and unsustainable. So I have a triangle method where I have my business organized into my drive is organized because my Google Drive used to be crazy. My downloads folder was a nightmare. I'd be looking for Canva graphics everywhere. So I have my drive nice and organized. There's 6 master files, and then in each of those, there's other files. And then I have a dashboard where I keep track of all of my things that like scripts that I'm writing, newsletters, all of that on Notion. And then I have my planner. And it sounds like a lot, but it isn't because it's all just so organized. And my planner is like, I have the podcast today with Joanne and Bree, right? That's like one of like 2 or 3 things. The other thing is I'm filming 2 videos. That's it. I really keep like the big priorities on there. And then for home with the kids and stuff, because for me, I'm up in Canada and the end of school is next week. So we are in the crazy part right now.
Yep.
And I'm
May
like,
Simber,
okay.
I think they like to call it, even if it's not May. Yeah.
Yes. And we have, I have a son graduating this year. So there's so much happening. So I have like the home stuff there and it's just very simple, like where we have just a few priorities. So for example, if I was starting a new habit, I would make sure that was on there, part of these new systems. And really, if you add things on bit by bit, it becomes a part of second nature and life gets so much better. Like you can't stop time. Time is going to come. People are like, oh no, I'll never do it. It's like time's going to go by anyway. You may as well just start.
It's true. And you don't have to do it all at once. The best change comes in just little changes every day, just tiny that you don't even think matter. Bree, do you have a coping strategy to share?
Girl, you know I got a lot of coping strategies. They come, they go. And that's one thing I do think about the whole, once I understood about myself that I will always have the perfect right now solution and allowing myself to acknowledge that and move on. This system is working for me right now. Doesn't mean it's going to work for me in a year. Doesn't mean it's going to work for me in 6 months, but I'm happy with it right now. It's helping me focus. I'm going to allow myself to use this and to not degrade myself when it stops working. That's like a thought process that has helped. But in terms of like actual tactics, besides the pill thing, which was fantastic, life-changing for me.
It's life-changing.
I know, right? I have a tactic that I do to make sure I don't miss appointments because, again, one of those lovely qualities is that I get into deep focus and I lose track of time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have something important that's coming up, an appointment I have to go to, a podcast interview, a meeting, I not only have it on my Google Calendar, which will pop up while I'm on my laptop, but I also set an Alexa reminder for like 2 to 3 minutes before it happens, because I am famous for that 10-minute reminder that comes up on Google and going, I have 10 minutes. I can do this. I can finish writing a book. I don't know, whatever it is, right? I try to pack a million things into 10 minutes because I have that weird warped sense of time. So that 2-minute timer on Alexa does get me to do a dead drop and get to where I need to be. And
That's
you know,
cool.
It's been working for me, Joanne, because I used to
Yeah,
always
you're on
be
time.
the last person to show up for everything. And now I'm on time more often than I'm not.
It is working. It is definitely working for you. Well,
Good. I do want to say one thing before.
Yeah.
Is that, and Bree, you reminded me, and one of the things I talk about a lot is perfectionism. And a lot of women in particular get really perfectionistic. So for even creating the system, they'll be like, well, what's the perfect system? What is the perfect this? What is the perfect that? And yes, like we just start it, figure out something, start it, and then you can tweak it. Or you can be like, this isn't working at all. Like throw it out the window. But perfectionism is a lie. It does not work ever.
Yeah.
It is 100% unattainable. So don't even bother.
Correct.
That's
Mic
sage
drop.
advice. Sage advice.
Thank
So,
you.
Robyn, we like to end every episode on a really positive note. What is something that you are excited about that's coming up for you?
I am really excited about just playing more in my garden this summer. I really value my downtime and I love summer and the sun and yeah.
That sounds lovely. I want to live in
Thank you.
Vancouver.
I know, right? Like it's
Yeah.
currently, it's supposed to be 112 this weekend here in Phoenix. So, and it's June when we're recording this. It's not even July yet.
Yeah.
It's hunker down season here.
I hear people in Arizona hate summer. And
It is.
here
Summer
it's like
is our
people
winter.
hate winter.
Yeah. Summer
We
is
love
our
winter.
winter. In
Yeah.
Phoenix, places close. Like just to give you, and all of our listeners, just one quick vision. Our zoo closes during the day in the summer. You can only
hot.
go to the zoo before, this only opens from like sunrise. I think it's like 5:30 or 6 in the morning until like 8. And then it closes. And then it's open after dark.
Yeah.
Because it's just too hot.
It's too hot. It's too hot. Well, Robyn, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us all of these systems.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye.
I swear, us talking about ADHD, we can call this the ADHD No Guilt Mom podcast because that's what we do all the time. All the time.
I swear, if you've got any questionable, like you're like, I wonder if I have ADHD. I wonder if I have perimenopause. I wonder.
Just
Trust
listen
me.
to us and you'll figure
We
it
got it
out.
covered.
You'll figure it out. But it's like also like the people we attract. So if you find that, I mean, shout out to our balance members, many of whom have multiple neurodiversities going on, which we embrace and love. Shout out to Lauren K. I won't say her last name on here. She makes me laugh daily on Joe with Joe's because of her ADHD and the things that she could bring up like out of nowhere.
Like today, yeah, there was like we do a Joe with Joe every morning, and there was a post on there about like pictures, and you're like, what?
What's going on, Lauren? I don't know. And she's like, no. And Lauren, by the way, is a doctor. It's just so fun. It's so fun, the people we attract into our community. So come join us in Balance if you're looking for your people.
Yeah,
who
you
will
don't
accept
have to
you.
wear your mask.
No,
you
there's
don't
no
have to wear your
masking
mask
there.
to hang out with us.
Nope.
And if you know what we're talking about, then you are our people.
Yes. You don't have to
So-
try to be someone you are not.
Just as Robyn is one of our people. And I got to tell you guys, when Robyn and I connected about the podcast, her YouTube channel is freaking amazing, guys. She has so many great, quick, awesome tips that it's just, you got to go check it out. There's a link in the show notes down here to go to her, check out her YouTube channel. It is fantastic. She's got so many resources for you, both for people that are just typical people trying to like get your home functioning in a better way and you feel like you might have some distraction or some ADHD, but also for people starting businesses.
Yeah.
Which there's so much of that right now.
There is so much of that right now, for sure. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Please, guys, if you find you have like 3 minutes of time, can you go and leave us a review? It helps get the podcast out to more people. It helps the Apple Podcast algorithm be like, oh, people like and are commenting on this podcast. I'm going to show it to more people as a suggestion. This is always the game that we're trying to play here. Same with Spotify. The more people that comment, the more that Spotify's like, I'm going to show this to more people as a suggestion. So you're really, really helping us out by doing that.
Yes.
If you have 3 minutes, we would so love and appreciate you. We read every review and we're just like, oh, they're amazing.
We really do read every single review as they come in. You know, we should go back to reading some of the reviews online.
Yeah.
I think we'll start doing that again for a little bit. So if you want to hear a shout out to you live on the podcast, leave us a review.
Leave us a review.
We will read out all of the comments we get this summer. We'll read them out live on every podcast recording.
Yeah. So until next time, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.